Hi guys, what's going on today? I'm going to show you how to fix your air conditioning if it's low on a charge on a typical camper air conditioner, so a rooftop air conditioner. This specific camper is equipped with a Dometic air conditioner, which is R22. It's an older trailer. It's a 2009, I believe, and it's a sealed system. So I'm going to show you for how basically under $100 you can fix your AC if it's low on a charge. Okay, we're going to start by just pulling the cover off this unit here. So there's just a bunch of Phillips head screws on it. So you're going to pull your cover off. There's nothing to it. Just pull these screws out and then we'll work our way around here. Okay, once you get all the screws out, you're just going to lift your cover off. It should technically just pop off here. So it'll come up and then I'll show you guys underneath here. Okay, so we got the cover off. It's not super dirty, it's a little dusty just from highway travel, but this is your compressor here, and this is what you're going to be working on if you're low on a charge. In this case, this air conditioner freezes up. It only works for about 10 minutes, and then the line's all ice, so it's an indication of, typically, of low refrigerant, because the coils aren't that dirty in this thing. It's just all dusty, but definitely not enough to make it freeze up here. So what we're going to do is, this is the bigger line's called your suction line. That's the line you're going to want to fill from. You'll notice on this unit, it's all sealed. There's no places to put your refrigerant gauges like you would on a central AC in your house or a vehicle. So we're going to use something called a piercing valve. They're $8. I'm going to show you what they are. They're super cheap. You can buy them on Amazon, local, Harbor Freight or whatever. They typically sell them. And we're going to put that piercing valve on the bigger line, which is your suction line, and that's what's going to allow us to charge it with one of those home residential AC kits. This unit in particular is an R22. It actually states, I can't get the camera in there, but it shows you on the side of the compressor. Before you put a charge in, make sure you're getting the right refrigerant for your unit. Same thing, this stuff here, it's an R22 replacement. You can see right here for residential, R22 substitute. In my opinion, it's not as good as the original, but it's cheap. It's about $40 for that case of 3 there. Should only use 1 or 2 in this case, and it'll get us up and running again. So let's get that valve on here. So this here is your piercing valve. It's got 4 bolts in the top, and then the center little nut there, that's your actual piercing part. It's got a little spike that comes out. It will pierce the line. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to make sure that's pulled out all the way, so as you're installing it, it doesn't accidentally pierce the line. So your center one, unthread it all the way, or pretty close to all the way out, so your little spike is not sticking through there when you go to put this over top of your suction line. So let's put this over top. Okay, so this is kind of hard to do with one hand, but what you're going to want to do is find a nice spot that's easy to put a gauge on here on the bigger line. Keep in mind you want to put this on the larger line, not the small line. That's your high side. You want to be on the suction side. So this, we're going to pick, let's see here. We're going to put it right there on a nice flat spot, not on a curve on the line. So you can see it sitting there. And then underneath it, you're just going to put this piece, which is going to sit, I actually got it backwards here. This piece is going to sit like that, and those, you're just going to tighten those Allen bolts. So this is nice and secure. Okay, so let's take a look here. So it's nice and snug. So all 3 of these bolts on the outside are snug. The last part you're going to want to do is you're going to want to twist the center one in, which is actually going to pierce the line here. And then once that happens, you're going to want to back that back off again, so that piercing doesn't actually close the hole that you're going to fill from. And then on the back side here, you have your standard connection, which is going to hook to this little gauge that came with my little R22 kit here. And then this piece on this gauge is just going to go to there. And on the back side here, it's just going to go to the fill, one of the little tanks here it comes with. So let's get that done. All right, so you can see it's starting to fill here. I've just backed this center one. Let's get it in focus there. I've backed this center one off, which is the actual piercing valve itself. So the Allen key just sat in there. I've backed it off, so it's open now. I've pierce this, you just spin this in, and then this tank opens up, and I've opened this up, and you can see the gauge here is showing ridiculously full, but that's not the case. It's just because it's not running. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to fire the unit up. That gauge is going to start to, let's flip it the right way here so we can see what's going on. There we go. That gauge is going to come down. It's going to start running, and we're going to get it. We're going to want to be somewhere around here. So it's about 50 to 60 today, PSI. So we want to be sitting around there. Outside, the temperature is about, I don't know, 75 degrees. Inside of the trailer would be in the low 80s, mid 80s probably. So let's fire this thing up and let's see where it's at, and we'll see how much we actually have to put into this thing. All right, so we're in the trailer here. Let's turn cool to low. Nice and cold. It's my kid's glow stick up there for some reason. All right, so she's running. Let's head back up to the top. I can hear the compressors running, and let's see where that gauge is showing. All right, so you can see it's coming down. The tank is actually filling. I gotta watch this stupid hose here, it doesn't touch the fan as it's spinning there. But you can feel the tank's cold. The refrigerant's being pumped into the unit right now. It's being sucked through. The line's starting to cool down. I can actually feel it. Watch your hands on these blades. That'll hurt. Starting to warm up, which is good. I'm just going to keep that bottle flipped here. Just keep letting it suck in that refrigerant. And you can see we're getting into between the down to 60 here. To run it for a little bit. It takes some time for this to suck through. This is getting nice and warm, which is good. That's the side you want to be hot. This is getting cool. It's starting to, I don't even see it there. My camera keeps going out of focus, but we'll start to sweat in a little bit. And then we'll give it a couple minutes and kind of see where that gauge sits. It's still pretty low. Still going down, I mean. It's going to need a fair bit. I think this thing was pretty well out of the charge, to be honest with you. The trick is you just don't want to see any freeze-ups on any of the lines. It's nice to see a little bit of sweat on the return side, the suction side. And this should get pretty hot, and it is. It's starting to get warm now. So it's doing what it's supposed to do again. So it's taking the charge. We're down to about 40 PSI now, getting lower. Most likely it's going to take another tank here, another one of these small tanks. We got a second one that we can add. We'll go down and check in a second here. It's pretty simple, guys, and this saves you a lot of money. I mean, you know, guys will argue that these tanks aren't ideal, and you know what? I'm sure it'd be better probably to put the original stuff back in it, but I'm unable to get that. It's pretty expensive to buy a huge tank of it, so these are pretty good. I mean, this trailer is a pretty old unit, so as long as she cools again, we'll be happy. Yeah, it's starting to cool down there. That's good. And we definitely got cold air coming out of there again. That was for sure the issue. I can actually hear the refrigerant running through the coil right now. It probably doesn't grab it on the mic here, but it's nice and cold. Might only need that one tank. I'm gonna run it for a bit and see, make sure there's no freeze ups up there again, make sure the lines stay nice and cool and they're sweating. You don't want to overfill it either. So ideally, if I was in the 50 to 60 PSI, it's around 40 right now, which is kind of close to where I want it to be. I just don't want to overfill it. The trick is not overfilling these. Alright guys, thanks for watching.
keep in mind, I didn't mention this throughout the video, but if you are low on refrigerant, they aren't supposed to lose refrigerant. So if it's low, there is going to be a leak somewhere. The question is, how fast is your leak, and you know, how much refrigerant it's going to take to recharge it. In this case, mine was pretty low. I'm assuming it's been leaking for years. I haven't owned the trailer for more than a year, so I'm not sure. But it definitely has a leak somewhere. Can't find it for the life of me. I've checked fittings, I've looked for oil, can't find the leak. So wherever it is, it's probably a super slow leak, which I'm hoping. But even if it's a, you know, a container a season, that's $15 a year to keep you cool. So I think it's well worth it. And now that the fitting's on there, the recharge is super quick. It'd take you 10 minutes in the spring to add a container if it was low over the winter, right? So anyway, hopefully you guys found this video useful and helpful. If you did, please subscribe to my channel. I'm gonna have some more trailer and camping videos coming up, so mostly just maintenance related. And yes, I'm sure I'll see it in the comments, the roof of this trailer is very dirty. It needs a power wash, needs to be cleaned. Haven't got to it. I am gonna do that. I'm also going to clean the inside of that AC unit out and make it nice and clean again. But anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks, guys.